if you are a gamer, and I mean a real gamer, not a Candy Crush or Facebook games, if you are a real gamer, you know that Sony has announced a new God of War for the franchising of this game. And if you are a big fan like me, you've noticed that this God of War is very different from the previous games. For example, Kratos is older. Kratos has a son. Kratos has a beard. The game has a different camera. And especially, Kratos has a different voice. So, I'm perfectly well with the other ones, with the camera, with his having a son, with the beard, him being older. Hey, Uncharted 4 just been released and the guys are all older, and that's perfectly fine because it gives now a continuation of the game and people can be attached to the characters. So Kratos being older and having beard and all that, I'm perfectly fine with that. If the story is compelling and there's a reason to that kid exist, I'm okay with that too. What I want to talk to you today is the voice of Kratos. I am a big fan of God of War, and one of the things that I love about God of War was the voice of Kratos. So if you don't know, well, you're not a big fan of God of War. And if you are a big fan of God of War, you of course know that the voice of Kratos is an actor called T.C. CARSON. So this guy has been doing the voice of Kratos since the beginning. If I'm not mistaken, he's done all the games, all the voices of the God of War games. And man, I just love his voice. His voice is just wonderful. And I connect the voice of God of War, I connect the voice of Kratos with T.C. CARSON. Not exactly when I'm playing God of War, and I do not have T.C. CARSON on my mind, but when I think of Kratos, I think of the voice of T.C. CARSON that's associated with the character. So that badass Kratos that we've known on the previous games, that's also connected with the voice. Let me give you an example. What would happen if now you're watching The Simpsons and suddenly Homer has a different voice? Come on. Just try to imagine Homer Simpson with another voice. The voice of Homer Simpson is an actor called Daniel Lewis Castellaneta. I don't know if I'm telling that right, but it's Daniel Lewis, known as Dan Castellaneta. So this guy is the voice of Homer. So what would happen if now the directors of Simpsons would say, yeah, you know what? We're going for a new direction. The story is all related, but now because Homer now is not really, I don't know, a dumb guy. Now he's smart. So now we're going to change his voice. You would be like, are you serious? You're going to change Homer Simpson's voice? No way. So that's what I think of Kratos. And why are they changing the voice of Kratos? So I've seen a tweet from T.C. CARSON, and he says that, to my folk, you've been wondering if I am voicing Kratos in God of War 4. I am not. Sony went in a new direction. Let them know what you think. So this is clearly a tweet not agreeing with the decision of Sony. Okay? It tells, let them know what you think. It's like saying, hey, they didn't choose me, but I wanted to. And when they say to my folk, is obviously saying to the gamers. And if you don't know, the new voice of God of War is Christopher Judge. So I didn't know this guy from nowhere. And because I am no science fiction fan. So if you are a science fiction fan, you know that this guy, Christopher Judge, has been in a series called Stargate. I know Stargate, I just never saw it. And this guy apparently does a part in that series, and he's the new voice of Kratos. In the trailer, I must confess, the voice doesn't sound so bad, but of course Kratos is in a more calmer state of mind and he's not like screaming and in all that rage. There's a moment of rage there, but there's not actually no phrases, no code that Kratos does. And that's where probably you're gonna see a difference. Because, I don't know, if they're going for a new direction, if Kratos is the same guy, why didn't just put the TC CARSON voice just calmer? You know, in God of War Ascension, Kratos was not so raged, he was more calmer, and still there was the voice of TC CARSON. So why change the voice? I don't know. I think that something happened between TC CARSON and Santa Monica or Sony or wherever. Something happens and they're probably not... The way I see it, I think the God of War will be a new saga. There'll be probably 2-3 new games of God of War, and they probably just want to get away from TC CARSON, not to get too annoying, not to get too repetitive, always hearing the same voice on Kratos. But hey, like Fast and Furious has like 8 or 9 movies, and the actor is always the same guy. It's always Vin Diesel. And people keep seeing it. So I don't think that's a good reason, if that is the reason. So guys, I really hope that doesn't ruin the game, because I really love God of War. And I really hope that the new voice won't like turn me a little bit off on this game. I really hope that that doesn't happen. So guys, that's my opinion. That's what I think it might happen on this God of War. Let me hear your opinion. Do you agree with me? Do you think that the voice won't change anything on this game and the new guy, Christopher Judge, will be just as good or better than TC CARSON? Give me your opinion. I want to hear it. And guys, until next video, peace out.